What is going on, guys? This is the 3D podcast here. I'm your podcast director, Austin. We're sitting here with the entire squad. To my right here, we got our main man, founder, Ethan.
What's going on?
Then we got our man, Matthias.
What's going on, guys?
Video engineer, what's good? And then we got our boy, Rob here,
Scat.
the main producer.
Scat.
And then we got our visual engineer here, Swannels.
What's happening?
All right, guys. How was everybody's week? Does everybody have a good week this week? Everybody chilling?
I actually had a pretty decent week. Nothing bad happened.
You always say that.
My brothers came into town today for spring break because he's in college, so he's gonna be. So probably gonna be chilling with him for a little bit, and other than that, just dealing with shitty customers, working customer service like usual. So
Does spring break start this week?
this week,
For who?
Boys.
Missouri State.
Okay. I didn't know if you were saying like college or high school. Is he in high school or college? College.
God, for spring break, dude, this weather right now is not really cutting it. Well, honestly,
No.
like it's not. It's better than normal,
It
but
is
like
better.
it's still not warm.
Because it was like in the single digits
Dude,
at one point.
I looked the other day. I opened up my weather to see like if like when it was gonna warm up, and I was like, oh, it's 32. Oh wait, no, that's New York. So it was on New York for whatever reason because it's like one of the pre-saved ones, and then I
Yeah.
swiped over to St. Louis and it was like 12 degrees, and I'm like, why in the fuck is it 20 degrees colder in St. Louis than
Yeah.
New York right now? And like ergo, I think everyone's ready for the cold to be over. Like New
real.
York, Missouri, Seattle. Like I talked to my buddy up in Seattle. He said they got record. Like last week they had record snow. He had 2 feet of snow in his yard, and it broke his
Excuse
tree.
me.
It broke his tree.
2 feet, 24 inches.
That was a record in Seattle for that time or whatever. Like for whatever I don't know. It was like the man had 2 feet of snow last week. There was a crazy snowstorm in Seattle, and power was out. It broke his tree, like a full-grown tree in his front yard. The weight of the snow or the storm, like, tore the tree in half. It was a wild snowstorm. Or he was just making shit up. But he sent me a picture of a tree that was like in half in his front yard, and there was 2 feet of snow, and his power was out for a while. So I think everyone's ready for this, like the cold weather to just be done, whether they had a full-blown snowstorm or just 10-degree temperatures, either anywhere in between.
Bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Like 30 degrees honestly doesn't even feel that bad now.
Anymore, no.
Like today it wasn't. It
Yeah.
was like.
But the
like
first
40s.
the first time I feel 50 degrees, I might have to get butt ass and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like walk around.
Enjoy it.
No, you can't do that. Do not streak.
Matthias, how was your week?
It was all right.
Why do you say all right?
Why do you say yours was pretty good when dealing with shitty customers? That was your answer.
yeah,
Well,
right
'cause
back
I
at
just,
you,
well,
Rob.
'cause I just try and brush it off. Because at the end of the
I
day,
respect
I shouldn't
that.
give a fuck.
I respect that. I thought it was funny.
This
You're
is
like, it was a
true.
good week. I dealt with shitty customers. Like, okay, Rob, that's a good outlook you got there. They can't take your attitude. I know. I love it. I love it. It's like, you ain't getting me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again because you're never going to get me down anyway.
My week, so like, I had dog training on Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
right?
because you got a dog.
Yeah. And I'm at dog training, and I get a text from.
You getting that bitch obedient?
Yes, that bitch is obedient. Wait, isn't it like Women's Day? We should not be saying that word.
Well, the dog's a bitch. Hardy heart.
That's
Any-
in
Technical terms.
Anyways, by definition.
You getting that bitch learnt?
Yeah, learned.
Anyways, yeah, I'm at dog training. I get a text, and it's like, "Yo, what's your garage code?" This is from Nathan Shannon.
Who is?
He was.
Who is?
Yeah, he was our. You're a friend.
Well, you
And
got.
He
I'm just saying.
appeared, he appeared on the podcast.
He was on the
before.
podcast.
I'm just saying
one
you
time.
got to say who it is. If you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And this man, he's like, "Yo, what's your garage code?" I'm like, "What? No, dude. Wait until I get home." And I get home, and there's 6 dudes in my house because I left the garage door unlocked. Never again will I leave that garage
So
door
he asked the
unlocked.
code. You didn't respond. They didn't get the answer, so they just went and started checking doors and found one that was open and let
Yes,
themselves in.
sir.
Jesus.
Some friends.
power moves.
If you guys are listening to this,
Don't be Nathan.
yeah.
Nathan, suck yourself.
Jesus.
Everybody make Nathan listen to this one.
Today's
he's
podcast
listening.
is brought
He's
to you
listening.
by the word presumptuous. Learn it, live it, love it. Presumptuous.
Presumptuous. That is Nathan.
That sounds shitty. But
I'd be pissed.
Wait, so yeah, it's like,
Like,
how
okay,
was
yeah.
your week? Oh,
I wasn't like pissed or anything. I was just like,
WTF?
disappointed.
WTF is the the way to describe, but not in an angry way. I was just like, all right, I guess we'll party.
Yeah.
And then I'm drawing a ton of dicks on your face as soon as you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Has
sir.
that happened before?
I have drawn some penises on his face.
I have woken up with penises on my face.
Separate time. And this is not Nathan talking.
I'm happy to say I've never woken up with any on my face.
Same.
Penises
Same. I
are a
always manage to
reoccurring
stay awake.
theme.
I think I woke up at the studio one time and there's a dick on my face.
Well,
Yeah, I remember that.
I
That
thought
was-
the studio
That
was
was
a
your
safe
boy.
place.
That was your boy, Ethan.
dude, that was you, dude.
All right,
No
from
way.
now on, studio is a safe place.
No way, I remember it.
Okay, well, regardless, sometimes
Some
gonna
dicks must be drawn.
no, sometimes people fall asleep and then like Sharpies accidentally move in the shape of a penis,
Peniles.
and people wake up with dicks on their face, man. I didn't draw the dicks, dude.
Who drew the dicks?
Exactly. I didn't draw the dicks. dude.
Swan, how was your week?
Prove it. Prove that was my dick on your face. You see what I'm saying? There's no way you could ever prove that my dick was on your face.
Whip out your dick.
I'll have to draw one for you.
He's too frisky. You don't want that to happen. It might just
Dude,
go
our
off.
buddy Andy is the best dick
Oh.
drawer, low key.
Shout out to Andy.
He draws dicks for fun or what? Is
He's
that
just that artistic
dude.
and like he
So
can,
someone was like, "Hey, since you're really good at art, just do me a favor."
well, you know,
do
like
me a favor, just give
I
me a
have to-
big old schlong.
I'm watching Superbad tonight. That's a
I
fact.
really like what you did with this, with this sunset painting. So since I know you can do a good sunset, how are your balls?
No,
I just couldn't stop. I just can't
Do
stop.
you do a
drawing
good
those.
scrotum? Do you capture the wrinkles? No,
No.
honest to God, how did you like? Why in the fuck is your friend?
as
drawing?
a kid, like he
Was he one of those kids that draws dicks?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I love it. I'm
Like
so.
we'd be
just
like
couldn't stop?
we'd literally be.
It's a thing. There's a name for it.
It's
I-
in middle school, man. Like little kids, like they.
No, there's a name for it. I don't know what it is. Someone should Google that.
I'm doing it right now.
Dick dude.
No, there's like a.
I can't stop
DD.
drawing penises.
I can't stop. I gotta draw dicks. Anyway.
But yeah, like I mean, like as a kid, like you just get bored and you doodle and like apparently like this kid's like
You
really
doodle a doodle, you know.
this kid's really good at fucking drawing and like just really artistic. He's got a gift for it and like not gift for drawing dicks, but like
Well, that too, apparently.
but like like he'd be just doodling around, just like getting artistic and like theoretical with it and shit like that, and just it
In
turned-
general, again.
it turned out to be a really good fucking good looking dick, like veins
Okay,
and
not
all that
okay. I
shit,
thought I
all
thought
that
we were
crap.
just talking about like just art, but again, it's just
But
the
no,
dicks.
he draws like rappers' faces and stuff
Okay,
like
so
that
now we're
too,
on to
and
something
like
else,
it's
okay.
actually like really artistic, and he
Yeah.
should really. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to do at school and all that stuff, but if I had to recommend something, I would do like some sort of drawing arts with shit that man. Shout out to Andy. He listens to the podcast. What's good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Andy, I'm
dude,
sorry
that's
if you
good.
felt like we were patronizing you. I don't care what you draw. I just had to know where the dicks were coming from.
Fuck you, Andy.
I googled.
Oh,
I
yeah.
googled it.
What's good?
It says it's called the dick disease.
Oh, seriously.
Urban Dictionary calls it the dick disease.
There's got to be an actual term.
A disease that affects people from the ages of 12 to 15. When someone is infected with this disease, they cannot help drawing dicks on anything they see.
I think he just did it for
pretty
fun.
spot on.
I thought there was like
Yeah.
a disorder, but
12 to 15, Andy, grow up.
Yeah, nonetheless.
That was
Shout
his
out
prime.
Andy.
That was his prime.
So I guess when you're in fucking like a freshman in high school, dicks are hilarious.
Yeah, but
Super bad in real life.
I could barely not laugh when I was reading that, so.
yeah, Swan. We didn't get really your answer. What's good? How's your week, dog?
Just been designing and rendering out things within Cinema 4D. Trying to make some loops.
Just working.
Yeah, working.
I feel that.
I like to work it.
Working real good.
Oh yeah, girl.
Yeah, guys, what's good with 3D? Anything cooking and brewing? What you guys been working on?
Got some bass tracks in the cook.
You know what? No cap. Rob says, Ethan, I don't think you should like try and be a rapper, and I don't think I should try and be a rapper either. But every day I fucking listen to like Mac or somebody, and like I'll listen to their lyrics, and that shit cuts, and it's raw poetry, and then it'll make me think of one of my lyrics, and all I know is in the future, I find it unlikely that I'm gonna be able to like find an artist that like is able to get the vision out the way I am. So ergo, your boy's gonna have to learn how to mix vocals and fucking make himself not sound like shit, and also learn to not sound like shit, because like I don't want to be a rapper, I want to be an artist, and I am an artist, and like having a vision is one thing and executing it is another. So like, not that I'm not confident in my ability to execute, but I'm going to be taking on some new adventures and getting more into engineering, vocals especially, and like capturing my ideas and working with this guy across the table, Rob, to just be like, just to have that other, like that extra tool brush in the arsenal of, you know, like with our management, we've been blessed and have like, we can get any kind of artist we need to and work with them to capture any ideas we have, which is great for like, anytime we need a girl to wail and be beautiful. Because I mean, computers are great, but I'd rather not try and do that. But nonetheless, I'm just saying like I'm really moving forward. I'm gonna put a lot of focus on. I love music too much and have too many ideas to waste these best years of my life with this much opportunity to not get my 2 cents out in what I know to be true. And in like all my lyrics, I genuinely think they need to be shared because I hope that they'll do what powerful songs have done for me, which is make it feel like I'm not so alone and like there's people out there that get it. And like I'm moving forward. I am going to be a lot less lenient with not bringing my poems and lyrics and whatever else, philosophy into our projects, because I think that that's as important as the visual aspect that Swan is going to do for you, as important as the audio aspect that Rob and I are going to bring to you, as important as the telling you guys about it on the podcast that Austin helps you do, and as important as it is for Matthias to capture all that and make it into a sick-ass movie to watch it on your social media. I'm just saying, like, I feel a responsibility as of right now to pick up the mic and learn to get out the songs that are in my head as I have envisioned them. And that's, I think, what it is to be an artist. And they say if it doesn't keep you up at night, don't do it. And it does. And it has, and it will. And so that's where I'm at. You can't sit on your ass and wait for it to come to you. You got to go get it, and you got to be ready to fail, and you got to anticipate and expect that, and you got to want it enough to work through that. And that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not where you're at with what you're doing the wrong thing, and you need to readjust. You need to bring it into focus and go again.
And know you're gonna fail. It's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
You can't get around failure, but
that's why you do what you love, man.
And that's when you learn about
yourself.
Your failures, and then you learn how to accomplish what you want to do, even if you do fail, because like that's what happens when you fail. You're like, oh shit. That's when you guys sit there and think, why did I do this? Why did it fail? Why did this happen? And then you accomplish it, and then fucking achieve what you want to do.
Respect the process. You're only as good as your last at bat. Let's get it. But yeah, I had a great week. I've gotten to work a lot more with Swan and Matt, the visual engineer and videographer this week. I've gotten to work a lot more with them. We're looking at getting a house. Our audio engineer Rob is probably going to be living there too potentially. If not, he'll be there all the time, I'm sure. But in essence, what it boils down to is that we'll have a lot more time to spend on the projects. We'll be a lot closer to each other, and we won't have to walk on eggshells as much with just trying to be respectful of when to play music and parents and all that. It's just we're
leaving the nest.
Yeah, man, we're stepping into the world and we're doing our thing. Yeah.
Anyone else working on anything dope?
2 new mixes started.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, we got another single that'll be, I don't know when it's going to be done, but another track that I'm super excited about, as well as a third that we've kind of like, I don't want to say neglected, but like there's definitely some projects in the works. And how I mentioned these lyrics, I mean, it's up to me now, I guess, to also like get some placements for, I mean, not every song needs lyrics, but the wheels are turning, the mouses are clicking.
What are you working on, dog, Matthias? Like, what do you do nowadays? I know you just finished a project with 3D.
Oh yeah. New little mix.
Yeah, we dropped the first mix. We said last week in the last episode that they should check there because it would probably be uploaded. It is.
Absolutely.
If you haven't seen it, our first mix, you can
on our website.
Well, if you go to our Instagram, it'll link you to the mix and our website and everything. But any yeah.
Yeah. What else am I working on? I'm still working on this wedding video that I shot in November in LA. It's been a bitch and a half, no lie. Some all technical program, computer shit, very heady. So I'm not gonna get into detail. It's just complicated.
For sure. Just a little question. Your boy mixes up and shit. Just for someone that, like, let's say, give this scenario. Let's say a new person that just listens to like normal music and shit like that, and they want to get into EDM music and shit like that, but let's say they haven't heard about it or even seen anything about it, or like they're completely new. How would you describe like EDM music to someone that doesn't know anything about it? Like, what kind of atmosphere, or like what
It's
to
the
expect?
wild-
Well,
it's
first
the
of all,
Wild
let me
West.
correct you on EDM music. EDM stands for electronic dance music. So you're saying electronic dance music, and like just electronic
what-
music in general.
What
like,
is that?
I mean,
You say that now, but like,
yeah, like
I don't
if
even
I
know.
had to describe it, I mean, pretty much, well, the things that they're gonna know are the David Guettas, the Calvin Harris, Martin Garrix, maybe Afrojack. They're gonna know all that shit, and then they're gonna start going down to okay, now what's all the big house guys, the big ultra music, the big EDC guys, W&W. They're the big like W&W. Let's see, Hardwell. Let's see,
There
Tiesto, all
there are
those
still
guys.
genres, but the lines are blurring.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
such a thing as a genre.
Especially
There's a
in,
new
like,
genre
bass
every
music.
day.
Yeah,
But
especially in bass music. there's
lines
a lot
are
of
blurring.
hybridization.
Yeah, bring back acid jazz.
Eventually, everything will be electronic, and nothing will be electronic, and everything will be music. And if you understand that, then you see and you know where it's going. Everything
Yeah,
will
I
just be
like
music. Yeah, and because think about it, we don't listen to albums anymore. I do, but we, as in statistically speaking, the general public doesn't listen to albums. They move to singles, and then they move to mixes, and what they move on from there, who knows? But like our attention span is shot, so like genres blend because like there's no rules anymore, and in essence, like who fucking knows? Like there are still genres. You can still pick them out one by one, but then now there is a million songs that are these like hybrids and crossovers, and like it's like, oh, it's a little country, it's a little EDM, it's a little pop, it's a little soul. It's like, what the fuck is this? And that's what I mean when I say the lines are blurring. Like nowadays, there's so many cool songs where you can't even put a finger on it because you get a country artist singing and Skrillex producing it and some live instrumentation and shit, and it's like, what in the fuck is this? And it's just cool nowadays. Like I don't even know what to call electronic music anymore because it's just
Like-
creative people getting together and being like, ooh, some of this, some of that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, like EDM, I would describe just the mainstream stuff: Tiesto, Martin
Yeah,
Garrix,
you can
all
still
that shit.
totally, yeah.
EDM, like yay, 128 BPM
Yeah.
festival, let's go rave and go fucking roll our ass off, like
drugs.
that. Like that's like EDM, but what I'd consider more like electronic music is when you start getting into the subgenres, which can go into okay, if you're talking about bass music, well, you can't just say, oh, I listen to dubstep.
Well, you used to be able to say that, but
well,
now
yeah,
there's
used to
so
be
many.
able to,
Ah,
but now there's dubstep, there's rhythm, there's bro step, there's there's everything, and now the
Hard
big
style.
thing,
Why are those?
yeah, there's hard style. That's another huge
and it's
huge
all like,
one,
well, aren't they the
DEF CON
same?
1.
And it's like, but if you get into the culture, and I know it sounds stupid, but if you actually get into the culture and learn to appreciate them for what they are, they're so unique in their own way. But then in the same way, there's a million songs that encompass an aspect from every single genre, and it's like these hybrids. So it's like there are still genres, there's new genres, there's blends, there's blurred lines. It's just a hodgepodge of creativity, and it's fucking awesome.
There are still pretty much the main subgenres still have their own like subculture. So DEF CON 1, that's somewhere in Europe, but it's all hard style. And when I mean hard style, like literally do 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 do, like that type of hard style.
One sound repeating.
And then
yeah.
trance, like that's another type of subculture. That's a lot of like candy,
Kicks.
rave, Molly. Like let's like go with our significant other and
It's
like cry to
ridiculous
some
how-
trance. The dubstep scene, that's different.
It's different.
Like the
It's-
dubstep scene, everybody knows a little bit about production, probably a little bit.
It's-
The main EDM scene, all they know is the Martin Garrixes and all that stuff. So there's still like the subgenre cultures, but they are
To me,
blurring.
how defined each one of those cultures are, though, like how there's so many jokes and memes and everything about just like, oh, well, this type of music fan and that type of music fan. And it used to be just like, you know, like you'd have alternative fans versus electronic fans. And no, when I say this type of fan versus that type of fan, I mean inside of EDM. Like the culture is so different, even by artists. Like artists
Yeah.
have almost at this point, an artist with a good brand almost has like a cult following, where if you look at someone like Porter Robinson, their fans go
Or
on
like
their
Rez,
Cult of Rez, but
yeah.
their fans go on their social media, and what do? They put the insignia, the logo, the tag to
love
let
it.
people know, hey, I'm with this, I'm with that, and the culture is like wildfire. It's like nothing I've ever seen in a lot
That
of
used
ways.
to be me in 2012.
Man, it's so
Like
cool.
Hoodie Boys for Life, Lostradamus.
Yeah, the
for
culture's
real,
so
like-
defined, man. It's like, and it spreads like fire.
I remember when we went to Red Rocks for DJ Snake.
My
One of
goodness.
the openers was Virtual Self, and the
And-
guys next to us were just Virtual Self.
Which-
oh my
this was
god!
like-
With only
Like,
Porter
those-
gear too. They only had
Seriously.
Porter Robinson merch. They didn't even have Virtual Self merch.
Fans nowadays are diehard fans,
Which is
and what that is,
They
to
didn't
speak
even
on
care.
that, what that is, it's the
Virtual
long tail effect. And in essence, 30 years ago, you had what was called the water cooler effect, where everybody on break at work stands around the water cooler, the coffee machine, and they say, "Hey, did you catch the news last night?" Yep. Hey, did you see the program last night? Yep. And everybody saw the same thing because everyone pretty much had the same options. But what we experience now is a long tail where you no longer have the huge star. You have a ton of mini stars, and it's the long tail. It's the niche. You got, like, I could pass Tim McGraw on the street and I wouldn't know it. I only know the name because I've heard it, but I don't know what he looks like. And I'm saying that I'm not a country music fan. My dad, Skrillex, could come up to him and be like, "I'm like one of the biggest EDM dudes ever," and my dad would be like, "Hey, my son would probably think that's cool, but I got a phone." Like, it's lost on him, right? Michael Jackson is like, if me or my dad met him, we'd probably shit a brick, even though we don't. I mean, we like Michael Jackson, but we
Pedophile.
No,
Sorry, I had to say
I'm
that
just saying,
since
like,
that documentary came
like
out.
nowadays we have
Just kidding.
niches. We have niches and like the long tail, and like what it amounts to is like mini stars. So it's like you have a lot more people that are mini famous. And so it's like, and what we're speaking on is that culture where it's like inside that culture, it's like, bro, you don't know this. To two fans talking to each other, they'll sit there and ridicule someone who doesn't know or whatever, or doesn't have that context of that culture. But it's just lost on someone, if you don't know, you don't know. But it used to be everyone had like 3 options. Now everyone has 3 million options. Everyone used to watch the same TV show. Now everyone's not even on the same, like, you got TV, you got internet, you got radio, you got video games.
Podcasts.
No one's on the same medium anymore. So you have a million, like, podcasts. You got famous podcasters, but you don't have one that everybody knows. Yeah. The long tail. There's a book called The Long Tail, and it speaks all on this. And what it amounts to is actually the sum of all those long tails, of the sum of the mini stars. It makes more money than the 10 big stars. It's better to have, like, Amazon. That is a company that was founded on the idea of the long tail. They're like, you know what? We don't want to have the best selling products. We want to have access to everything. Because if we can sell 1s and 2s of everything, 1s and 2s of everything is more than the top 10 of that everyone's buying. It is the long tail. It's very interesting. It's a book y'all should check out. But yeah.
Look at Walmart, dog. The biggest employer in the world, and
Amazon
they
is.
got everything pretty much.
Amazon's the
Fucking go there.
largest employer.
Well, Amazon's concept is off of the long
Is
tail
it really?
of like let's
Yeah,
have
Amazon.
access. Yeah.
Amazon,
If you
Walmart
read,
used to be.
if you they did it too.
close second.
If you read the book, though, it points out a million companies that uses that model. Check out this. This is a fun one. Music jukebox, right? This is fun.
Oh yeah.
What percentage of titles in a jukebox do you think gets rented in like a 12-month span? Say there's a 1,000 songs in this jukebox. In 1 year time, how many of those 1,000 songs do you think get played? What percentage do you think?
1%. 1%.
1% out of 100 songs you think gets played once a year?
Maybe. Who the hell uses a jukebox anymore? Like,
Yeah,
that's what
true.
it,
All right,
I'll
you ready?
say
You ready?
that.
You ready to feel fucking stupid?
is it 100% of them?
90-something percent.
Oh,
You're
shit.
telling me that 90?
90% of the songs get played in there at least once. 10 songs get played more than every other song, but
That's what I thought you were
the long
asking.
tail. No. But
I thought you were asking which ones were the most popular.
I asked you what percentage. I said what I said. What percent? There's 1,000 songs in a jukebox. In 1 year's time, what percentage of those songs do you think get played at least once? You said 1%. I say it's over 90% of those tracks
Okay.
get played at least once. And the fun thing is, if you take the 90% and add it up, it's more than the top 10%. Even though the top 10% is
80-20. Yeah.
well, it's not 80-20. It's not. It's the long tail. It's a different phenomenon. It's a whole different thing. You would think, if I said, yo, like, do you want the top 10 companies or do you want all these guys with 1 and 2? You'd be like, give me the top 10. The 1 and 2 is actually worth more money. Amazon was like the first company to discover that. If we can just sell 1 and 2 of everything, we'll make more money than that's it. You read the book. It's very interesting. That was it, though. It's not quite 80-20. 80-20 is a very interesting phenomenon, too.
Mm-hmm. Tim Ferriss talks about that.
Yeah, 80% of results come from 20% of inputs. 20% of people have 80% of the money. All that. 80% of peas come from 20% of pea pods. That's where it was discovered by the guy that figured it out. It's a thing. But yes, these are very interesting things. You can use them to your advantage. Read the book, The Long Tail. Read the book, The 4 Hour Work Week. That shit'll change your life. That's straight fucking medicine. Audible, your first book's free. You're welcome. What's good?
Yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Amazon. They know
Audible.
Audible.
Amazon.
Hey, they know how to get you on, dude. Yeah.
Audible
Hey,
and
hey,
Amazon
way to bring it back.
Company.
Way to bring it back. Hey, first circle.
But just for a new new listener, how would you describe the culture?
For EDM?
Yes, sir.
Which one? Because we just said,
Yeah, true, but like,
So
Like bass
Bass-
music?
okay, so like people,
trance,
there's a lot of
house?
so
even going to a concert.
So like
Techno?
dubstep's like the alternative of EDM, and so with rhythm's like the screamo of EDM. So the people that listen
Rhythm's
to that,
alternative of dubstep.
amen.
like-
So it's like even in EDM, there's like genres just like there is like in regular music. That's what I'm saying. Like the lines are blurred, man. Because nowadays everyone like they used to laugh at people that use computers and say you're not a musician. Now if you don't use a computer, you're not a musician. I mean I can't say that, but in essence, like you can play an instrument and be a musician, but you're not making records if you ain't using.
I think what Austin's asking is more like, who do you expect to show up at a festival?
Oh, Martin Garrix.
I think no, the people.
You got the Brads and
people.
Chads, which is
Brads
the
and
stereotype, which are people that are like new to the culture. You get called a Brad and Chad if you're looking like you don't belong there and you're a nice, clean cut guy, which is kind of stupid.
Basketball jersey.
Yeah, if you look like a
Sorry.
frat boy, they try and alienate you because originally the rave culture was like freaks and geeks, misfits,
Yeah.
and so
They hate
the
that shit.
wooks they call them are like the real people that do the candy and have the bracelets and they wear the assless chaps and the fishnets. They're very into it.
camp out all
They're
fucking
so
week.
they're hippie-ish. They're very into it. They're very very into it. The Brads and Chads, those are the dudes that are just there to bro, it's lit and put on my story. You got the girls, the bass sluts, whatever you want to call them, that are there just to either do drugs or to
Yep.
like to do hula hooping because they're like getting their freak flag flying.
Fingering or
You fucking
whatever,
You gotta-
gloving, whatever they call
You got a couple innocent people there that it's like, what are you guys doing here? You shouldn't be here. Like the guy that's like 16, 17 with his girlfriend, and it's like, you guys know this is about to be a mosh pit, right?
Or people
They
so
don't
gone
know-
on
let
like
me tell
coke
you,
or Molly and
they
stuff
don't
that
know.
they have no sense of anything.
I'd say
that's
half the
false.
crowd should be there. 25% is just on drugs, and then the other 25% should not be there and is not
It's
on drugs.
disgusting.
Hold on. Matthias, how was it like when you went to the Chainsmokers concert? Because that is actually a pretty good distinction because you can tell pretty good on who listens to EDM and who does not listen to EDM.
I'm actually really
that
glad.
experience?
Because
I'm really
Chainsmokers is
glad.
mainstream. That's a
Yeah.
good. So you get a
But their
mix.
sets are hard as
Okay,
fuck.
so
though.
different artists,
Oh,
a
yes.
different crowd.
But hang on.
That's a,
So yeah, let me explain my experience there, bro. Me and my girlfriend went, and like I obviously listen to like some, like the Chainsmokers sets were fucking awesome. I think.
shit.
Matthias loves
Yeah.
electro house. He doesn't like dubstep. He likes trance and electro house. Anyways,
I do. Yes. Thanks for adding.
he
that.
does. No, he,
Electro house.
he might not
Anyways.
know it, but he does now.
I know it.
That's those. Every time I play trance or electro house, he's like, "Hey, 128, let's go. Or 140, let's go. Hey."
Yeah. Anyways, like Chainsmokers, right? Opening up, fucking great. Like they were playing some hard shit. There were me and my girlfriend.
Wasn't it like dubs?
Dude,
Was?
they were playing Wookiee.
Dubstep.
After all, they were playing some dubstep.
Dubstep.
They were
And
playing
everyone's
some
like-
house. Everyone there was like, "What the fuck is going on?" We're in the pit. Like I paid extra money. to get
They're
in the
expecting
pit.
roses.
Me and my girlfriend, we weaseled our way up to the rail, and we
Nice.
were like, "Fucking right, dude." There was this couple right next to us, right? They were just looking.
Play
at the-
closer.
They were just looking around. Like this was the Memories Do Not Open tour.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So Closer was on that. Same with
play-
Paris and those
Play
songs.
Red Roses. Roses.
Right. Yeah. So
Red Roses. That's the
just everyone was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I'm over here jumping my ass off,
'Cause you're
grabbing the rail, because I know what I came for. I know exactly what I came for.
Well,
right?
people might think the same with us. Our first single's really nice. It sounds like
Yeah.
like a 7-line song or
Okay,
something.
yeah,
and then
yeah.
we're gonna throw wubs, and they're like, "What the hell?" It's called an artist who's a DJ who is anyone.
Right.
They can
right.
play whatever
Like,
they want.
The Chainsmokers, they're DJs. They're also music producers.
They're producers.
They make radio hits. But guess what? They know how to throw the fuck down.
Well, it's not
Listen to
even-
their ultra set.
They do what they want.
Yeah, they do whatever the fuck they want because they can. Yeah.
A lot of modern
Any
day-
artist
yeah.
can do what they want, right?
Yeah.
But
Like, okay, yeah, artists like on the guitar, sometimes they'll come out and just like rock a tribute, do like the Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like,
Or,
I can.
as my
Yeah.
guitar gently weeps. or something.
Gatter one time bragged. He's like, I literally just played. What was it? He played a song that was like, it was very satire-ish. He was like, I just played this song and everyone loved it. As far as I'm convinced, like, I mean, he was speaking on the fact of like there are no fucking rules. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was like he rickrolled the crowd and they loved it. He's like, yeah,
that's
fuck,
geeked.
yeah.
wasn't there was an artist, like a dubstep artist, who made a jazz album. Who was that? We listened to it in
Borgore.
Colorado.
And you know what? It
Borgore
was
made
awesome.
a jazz
Studied
album.
jazz
It's-
theory in college because it was either that or like ballerina class, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck that."
It
I'll
served
take
him well.
jazz music
It's
theory."
you know what? I listen to that album. It's awesome.
It's
I
good.
feel like I drive
nice.
around in my BMW, listen to that. I feel like a gentleman. Classical music is awesome, dude. I listened to "In the Mood" by
Soothing.
Glenn Miller this morning, bro. I was.
yeah.
I was in the mood. You heard me?
Fuck yeah.
Dude, yeah. I was in the mood, bro.
Hearing you guys describe that, I mean, when we went to Colorado and shit, I was definitely a Brad, dude. I wore polo shit. I did not know what to expect. I was sitting there on my phone, like, putting on my story, and I was
Red
sitting there
Rocks,
like,
DJ Snake.
I
It's
was
not
like,
necessarily a bad thing. It's
No,
just,
no, no.
It's the vibe or the crowd that event brings. You get some dudes that are like, yeah, I'm not a fucking weirdo. You get some dudes that are like, I'm a weirdo. You get some dudes that are like, hey, do you want some coke? Like, that's just what happens.
The DJ Snake crowd, like whenever he plays Red Rocks, and I guarantee the Excision Apex tour, those crowds were completely different.
Oh yeah,
Intense.
Absolutely.
And by city, like
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Louis,
Oh,
I've heard is real greasy.
Dude, St. Louis goes hard
We've
as fuck.
seen
We
it.
get a
We've
lot
seen
of
it
rhythm
pretty
artists.
greasy. Yeah, dude.
So
We
many.
like that rhythm here.
We get that greasy, grimy. Yeah.
Speaking of dudes trying to sell coke, we were at Colorado. We're walking into Red Rocks. Car drives
Yep.
past us like 2 miles an hour. They roll down the window like, "Hey, dudes,
Cool shirt.
cool shirt. Thanks. You want any coke?" Like, do I know you?
I said, not today.
Not today, man. Like,
not today.
and I mean, we don't do that anyways. But it's just like, man, oh man, the people you'll meet.
Yeah, it was my shirt too, so I'm cool.
He was offering Swan the coke.
Because Swan was
'Cause of
wearing
the shirt.
He was wearing a Cruella DeVille shirt, and I guess he thought that anyone wearing a Disney shirt would be wild. I guess.
Hey man, Disney's pretty fucked.
I don't know. All we're saying is you gotta be like, there's a lot of weirdos. You gotta, you gotta be ready for anything, man.
What did you hear about Disney Frozen? The reason that they named it Frozen was because previously, if you looked up Disney Frozen, it would be like people high on meth at Disneyland. So they made the name Frozen so that like when you typed it in, it would just come up with the movie.
then
That's
there
a
was
conspiracy
no-
theory, yeah.
Okay, then there was no correlation between the two. It was like, no, you're
Yes.
talking about the movie, right? You're not
Yes.
talking about the people on coke. You're talking about the
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
Disney Frozen.
Oh,
It was a cover.
Leave
up.
Disney
oh wait,
out
no.
of this.
Oh wait, no. That's
You
Disney
don't
on
fuck
Ice.
with the mouse.
Yeah.
No, that's Disney on Ice. No,
I'm not
that's
leaving.
Disney on Ice. They made Disney on Ice so they could cover up the meth thing, and then Frozen was because of something else. I can't remember it. But
That makes
So
sense.
what you're saying is Walt Disney was Walter White.
no, Disney Frozen, because when you typed
I'm
in Disney
fucking with
Frozen,
you,
it would come. No, like if you typed in Disney Frozen on Google, it would pop up with Walt Disney being frozen, like some Austin Powers shit. That's what it was.
I see. I
Yeah,
misunderstood.
dude. Yeah, dude, you triggered my memory.
I misunderstood. Okay, well, I'm glad I triggered it because I had
That
no
is
fucking clue.
good.
I was just trying to make a joke because I had no clue what the fuck you were talking about. But anyways,
You don't fuck with the mouse.
Nah, dude.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Anything new in the music world or anything like that? Anybody drop any shit?
We dropped the mix. The single's probably like 2 weeks. It's with the engineer. Go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna say in general.
In general.
Like, I mean, I know Garth Brooks is coming into town in the Enterprise Center, like where we're at. That's like the biggest concert they've had. So
I
I
know
guess
the
that's like
name.
pretty big. Like he's just like a big country artist, but
Okay, yeah.
but yeah, supposedly that's like one of the biggest concerts we've even had in St. Louis.
Hashtag
pretty
the
much.
long tail. He could walk past me right now. I'd be like, bro. Excuse me. You didn't say hi, and I'm important, and you're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
And he'd be like, actually, no.
Yeah,
that's
no.
that's not how it is. It's long tail.
Subcultures again.
I don't think
yeah.
I'm important, but I would not know if he walked past me.
Oh yeah.
And that's the long tail. I'm sure my parents are probably going, or they got some Bob Seger's in town.
Oh shit. That's awesome.
I always know the names, but I don't really. I mean, I know classic music and I know classic rock, but the country's lost on me.
Yellow Wolf's a country rapper, technically, apparently, to Google.
All right.
Weird.
Well, 9 Inch Nails is like the first electronic according to them, but I say like On the Run, like Pink Floyd, 1968. That's the first EDM to me. Or 69 or 71, whatever the fuck. I think it was 68. We went conspiracy hour last week, man.
Fuck yeah.
That was
That was fun,
Awesome.
a little.
dude. Yeah, you got
little over the
questions.
top.
Mind
I
opening,
mean,
dude.
dude, go literally poke a hole in any of that.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
hey,
I
watch
actually
the-
did look up Bohemian Grove.
Hey!
And I
real.
watched
It is
like
real.
like
Joe
half
Rogan's
of the
got a-
whole
dude, Joe-
Alex Jones and John
I'm
Ronson
sorry, not
whenever
Joe
they
Rogan.
went into
Not Joe
Bohemian
Rogan.
Grove back in like 2000
Yeah,
or some
Alex
shit.
Jones.
I watched like half of the movie that he made.
I said Joe Rogan, but
Bohemian
Alex
Grove?
Jones has a documentary. He successfully infiltrated the Bohemian Grove, and he has a phenomenal. He wore a body cam. You can't even diss it. And he's got video of him, the Secret Service coming up, like, "Who are you?" They had to get tags of people that they were not, and basically impersonate like officers that were employed there in order to get in, and they were like checked the whole time. But
They were infiltrating a military base, is what it sounds
But
like.
you should like if
Yeah.
you could watch two things, and if you think that what we say is worthwhile, like or what I say is worthwhile, yeah, the Alex Jones Bohemian Grove interview, and then also check out the Joe Rogan podcast with Alex Jones. Like, not to suck Alex Jones' dick, but
Both
like
of them.
it's interesting. Like, watch it; it's interesting.
He's geeked as fuck.
I'm not saying I
He's
don't
funny
believe
as fuck.
I do not believe everything the dude says. I'm just saying it's very interesting, and the place exists, and it's interesting to know
It
about.
does
and
exist.
it
And
does.
supposedly they relocated it because people kept trying to fucking go there.
Yeah,
which
they're
I
like,
don't
we got to
blame
move the club. We
Yeah.
got to move the Bohemian
Yeah.
Club, boys. Yeah,
We're shut down. I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not
fucking
leaving.
leaving. But it is real. It's
I like
good.
little boys.
We don't believe everything we hear and all that, but it's very interesting. And maybe I'm a little more out there than these guys. But yeah, I encourage you guys to ask questions and all that, and like not just with this show, but with life. And yeah, dude, that shit was fucking. It's interesting, bro. Go check that shit out,
Crazy,
man.
dude.
It's very interesting times we're living in now. Info like
Get
is-
educated.
Yeah.
We got any words to live by?
Never trust a fart. I got something else though. That is
The first joke was based on a woman farting.
Oh yeah, really? That was the first joke
That was
ever recorded.
Yes.
Was women flatulence? Like
Yes.
you think it'd be a man because back then, if a woman farts, it's like girls have butts. Like
Killer.
I thought we didn't even acknowledge that girls pooped until like 1946.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was like the
just,
23rd Amendment was like girls can poop now. Or something.
Yeah.
They can poop now.
I think like once
Dude,
a
it's
year,
women's
maybe?
rights
I'm
day.
joking. That's not.
Chill.
I'm joking.
Triggered.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's the when I grew up, it's like everyone would always be like, yeah, girls. Like my parents and sister would always be like, yeah, girls don't poop. So for the longest time, for me,
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's,
Right.
that's the joke I'm
Middle
making. Like,
school, my girlfriend
Girls
tricked
don't
me
fart,
into
like-
they didn't. She
yeah,
didn't
that's
poop.
what girls would say.
Like-
Like girls don't poop. Don't know. So that's why I'm saying the joke. I'm not misogynistic. I'm not. I love ladies. If you're single and you're not batshit, get at me.
Hit them up.
They just diarrhea.
Swear.
Hit them up.
Hit 'em up.
If you're not in a cult, yeah, inbox me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inbox.
And yeah, hit me in the DMs
Yeah, yeah,
so I know it's real.
The email.
Send me a letter.
No, get me down in the DMs so I know it's really real.
BTs.
No. Okay, where's the live by? Here we go. This week, we must live by the words of ... Here we go. So this is Narnar. I'm reading this book. Narnar, as in gnarly, as in good to know. I'm reading this book called Principles. I've talked about it a few times, and he ran the biggest or runs like 40 plus years before he handed it down. I think he just retired this year as he released this book in 2017. It was on Drama's like top 5 books to read this year. It's a great book. It's long as hell, but it's like him passing on his knowledge and saying, okay, I'm retiring. This is everything I know. He ran a company for 40 years. I can't think of the name of it, but it was investments, and like he cracked the code of like how to invest with the lowest amount of volatility, like risk, and like invest in different things that were uncorrelated. So if one did bad, the others wouldn't. He ran a company for 40 plus years, ran hedge funds. Like in essence, he was the Jordan Belfort or the Bernie Madoff that wasn't a fucking crook. He was the dude that actually knew how to invest people's money. People trusted him with it. He did very well. And so now he wrote this book, Principles, which was, him giving away his secrets of winning and, all that. I wrote down one of the concepts that I heard the other day and I thought it was worth sharing. And he talked about meritocracy, but not just meritocracy, but idea meritocracy. Meritocracy, that word, it means a culture where the best wins, like, period. It has nothing, and what it means is, like, it doesn't matter how old you are, you're elected based off of ability, period. That's what meritocracy is. The best wins, okay? So idea meritocracy is the best idea wins. And he was talking about how in his companies, he would get compared to Steve Jobs. And he would talk to Steve Jobs years ago and Bill Gates and was on boards with them. I mean, the dude is a billionaire, right? But he would get compared to him in the way that, like, he was so, like, he himself was volatile in the sense that he would get very upset. He was very passionate. He wouldn't let anything bother him. And a lot of employees couldn't handle it, and they would always have to like reform their company or get new employees. But once they, and this is a reoccurring thing, like the theme, the book Good to Great talks about how you got to have the right people. But in essence, what he said was, once he got his right people and got rid of the people that couldn't handle him getting upset or him being like radically honest with them, what he ended up with was idea meritocracy, where the best idea wins, and it was radical truth and radical transparency. And what it did was, in an organization, it brought problems and weaknesses to the surface, and it prompted forthright dealing with them. So I thought that was huge, and it made me think, like, I get mad a lot of times, but like these guys right here, they stick with me, and they know, like, and I'm not going to compare myself to Steve Jobs, but I see a lot of the qualities in myself that I see with any other person that is trying to do large things. And in essence, like, we are in a position now where like we all respect each other's expertise and craft, and as we move forward more, I think it's just going to be more of that, in the essence of that, like, we all know things that the others do not just people at this table, but people everywhere in the world. And so although you're going to step on some people's feelings, and some people, the truth hurts and all that, I encourage you so hard to be radically honest with yourself, with your parents, with others. And it hurts, it sucks. And I've always done it my whole life, and I've always felt like I had a chip on my shoulder. It was like the bad guy because of it, because I was always like saying what everyone was thinking. But I'm telling you, do that shit, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And I'm telling you, with that radical truth and transparency in an organization, it brings those problems and weaknesses straight to the surface. You deal with that shit right away, and what it prevents is you not saying anything and bottling it up and having an explosion of emotions later. So I think in order to be like baller, it's like a fuck your feelings thing. Like, I love everybody at this table and out there, and like, if I do love you, I'll tell you what I think, and you might not like it, and it's just my opinion for what it's worth. But that honesty and just that radicalness, I think that's respect. And like, period. That was a rant, but yeah, dude, you got it. Idea meritocracy. The Steve Jobs to the, like, I'll look up this guy's name. He's worth knowing. Ray Dalio, yeah. Ray Dalio, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all those guys. Everyone was like, man, this dude is not easy to work with, but it's like for good reason. Yeah. So I encourage you guys to be that way, as long as you have a reason. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. That encompasses that idea, and I guess I'll end on that. If you guys got anything else, then go for it.
It's all good, homies. Also, don't forget, guys, you can check out our social medias, each one of us. If you want to check out my Instagram, you can check my Instagram out at Larry_Lovestein_5.0. I'm almost at 1,000 followers, so help me out there. So just look me out. Ethan, where can people find you?
I'm Ethan Costello on Twitter and Instagram.
What about you, Matthias?
At Matthias.
With the F's, don't forget.
Double FHIAS.
What about you, Rob?
At Rob Santel Twitter, Robert Santel IG.
What about you, Swan?
You can find me at Swagmaster Swan on the IG, and you can find me at Matthew Swan 441 on Twitter. And if you're feeling frisky, you can get me on Snapchat at Swagmaster Swanee.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Also, guys, don't forget, you guys can send us questions on our social medias. Just DM us if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. We can put you on here, and anonymously or not, we'll answer the questions that you guys want to hear.
Websites 3-dmusic.com, not-designer.com. Yeah.
What's good? That pretty much wraps it up here. This is the 3D podcast. We'll catch you guys next week.